a stunning moment on live TV, Greg Gutfeld took aim at Sunny Hostin and TheView, dismantling her credibility with sharp wit and biting commentary. Hostin, known for her outspoken views on racial justice and reparations, found herself at the center of controversy after a shocking revelation about her own ancestry. Appearing on PBS's Finding Your Roots, Hostin learned that her ancestors were slave owners, a discovery that contradicted her public stance on racial inequality. Gutfeld didn't waste time pointing out the irony, calling out the hypocrisy with humor and precision. His takedown of Hostin and TheView has since sparked widespread debate, drawing both laughter and criticism. The show that uncovered the truth. Finding Your Roots is a program hosted by renowned genealogist Henry Louis Gates, Jr., designed to uncover the ancestral histories of famous personalities. The show uses genealogy and DNA testing to trace the origins of its guests and reveals often surprising stories about their pasts. The viewers are typically given a look into their celebrity guests' history, sometimes uncovering inspiring and empowering stories of resilience or triumph. For someone like Sunny, who has been a prominent advocate for reparations and the dismantling of systems rooted in slavery, the show was an opportunity for her to dig into her own family history. Sunny, who has often used her platform to discuss her Puerto Rican heritage, likely assumed her family's story would confirm her narrative of overcoming adversity. What she didn't expect was to learn that her own ancestors had benefited from the very system of oppression she spent years denouncing. To her shock, it turned out that Sunny's lineage was tied directly to European slave owners, individuals who had profited from the enslavement of Black people. This revelation struck Sunny with such force that it left her momentarily speechless, and the uncomfortable pause during the show was palpable. The awkward moment. As the genealogist laid out the findings, Sunny's face slowly transformed from mild curiosity to sheer disbelief. "I'm in a little bit of shock," she admitted. "I just always thought of myself as Puerto Rican. You know, half Puerto Rican. I didn't think I was. My family was originally from Spain and slaveholders." The weight of the moment was not lost on the audience. Her reaction, a mix of shock, awkwardness, and a hint of denial, was palpable as she struggled to reconcile her public identity with her family's past. The irony of the situation was not lost on the viewers. Sunny, who has spent years publicly advocating for reparations and decrying the enduring legacy of slavery, now found herself confronting a history that directly contradicted her own message. Her family, rather than being oppressed minorities or struggling immigrants, had profited from the very system she has spent her career critiquing. It was as if the narrative she had spent years crafting was now being torn apart in real time. Sunny's immediate response was to downplay the revelation. "I think it's actually pretty interesting," she said, trying to regain some composure. "This is something I think my husband and I share, and I think it's great for our children to know this information." By attempting to frame it as an educational tidbit for her kids, she avoided confronting the uncomfortable truth head-on, creating a moment of irony that quickly became fodder for internet memes and jokes. Public reaction and media backlash. The news of Sunny's family history spread quickly through the media, and it didn't take long for pundits to seize on the irony. On Fox News, Greg Gutfeld, known for his irreverent humor and sharp political critiques, made the situation the centerpiece of his segment. His opening line, "Sunny Hostin's ancestors were slave owners. That's like finding out a vegan secretly owns a barbecue joint," became an instant catchphrase, illustrating the absurdity of the situation in a humorous yet pointed way. While Greg's quip was designed to be humorous, it also served as a sharp critique of the hypocrisy many perceived in Sunny's public persona. Here was a woman who had spent years pointing the finger at others, particularly those with ties to historical systems of oppression. And now she had to come to terms with the fact that her own ancestry was complicit in those very systems. For many, This represented a classic example of the "do as I say, not as I do" mentality that often pervades political discourse. Greg's remarks highlighted not just the irony of the situation, but also the broader tendency for public figures to ignore their own histories while demanding accountability from others. The double standard and hypocrisy. What made the situation even more problematic for Sunny was her refusal to fully confront the uncomfortable aspects of her family's past. Instead of offering a deeper reflection or acknowledging the impact of her family's role in perpetuating slavery, she quickly dismissed it as just a fact of life. Her inability to offer any genuine introspection or empathy for the revelation left many feeling that she had missed a significant opportunity to engage in a more nuanced conversation about history, identity, and the complexities of racial justice. Greg Gutfeld, along with other commentators, took aim at Sunny's lack of accountability. While it would have been understandable for Sunny to be initially shocked and uncomfortable, the real test was how she would handle the fallout. Instead of embracing the chance for personal growth and reflection, she simply shrugged it off. This lack of accountability was seen as a glaring double standard. For years, Sunny has been one of the most vocal advocates for addressing historical injustices, yet when faced with a personal reckoning, she chose to minimize its significance. This reluctance to take ownership of her past drew the ire of many on social media. Some mocked her for the contradiction, with memes circulating that portrayed Sunny writing herself a check for reparations. Others were more critical, arguing that Sunny's stance on reparations, racial justice, and white privilege was fundamentally undermined by her family's history. One commenter pointed out that while Sunny should not be held personally responsible for her ancestors' actions, it was hypocritical for her to call out others without confronting her own family's role in the system she condemns. The broader discussion on identity politics. The incident also sparked a broader conversation about identity politics. Sunny, like many public figures, has built much of her platform around a strict dichotomy of racial and social identities. For her, certain actions and attitudes are labeled as racist or privileged, based on the identity group to which an individual belongs. However, as Greg Gutfeld and other commentators pointed out, this kind of thinking oversimplifies complex issues and can backfire when personal history comes into play. Gutfeld and others suggested that this reliance on identity politics often leads to a loss of nuance, stripping individuals of their full context and reducing them to their racial or social categories. By focusing too heavily on race, identity politics can lead to hypocrisy, especially when individuals fail to hold themselves to the same standards they impose on others. This is what made Sunny's situation so ironic. Her insistence on condemning others based on their racial and historical ties, while avoiding the same level of scrutiny for her own lineage. This incident also raised important questions about personal responsibility. As Lawrence O'Donnell pointed out, the real issue is not who your ancestors were, but what you do with the knowledge you have today. Sunny's failure to take responsibility for the revelations about her family's history, especially considering her public stance on racial justice, highlighted a gap between her moral posturing and her willingness to engage in self-reflection. A missed opportunity for growth. Some commentators, however, saw the situation as a missed opportunity for Sunny to demonstrate growth and maturity. Instead of making light of the revelation or brushing it off, Sunny could have used the moment to engage in a deeper conversation about race, identity, and historical accountability. Imagine if she had used the opportunity to say, "I've learned something surprising about my family, and it's making me rethink how I approach these conversations." Such a response could have sparked an important dialogue about the complexities of history and identity, showing that even those who fight for racial justice are not immune from the uncomfortable truths of the past. But instead, Sunny chose to deflect the issue, offering a dismissive response that did little to inspire reflection or growth. This only deepened the perception of hypocrisy among critics, who saw her as more interested in preserving her public image than in engaging with the difficult truths of her family's history. The future of Sunny Hostin's legacy. So what does this mean for Sunny Hostin's future? Will she confront the irony of her family's past and use it as a catalyst for change? Or will she continue to double down on her public persona without addressing the glaring contradictions? Only time will tell. What is clear, however, is that this story has struck a chord with the public. It serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of self-righteousness, the complexities of identity politics, and the importance of humility in the face of uncomfortable truths. As Sunny continues her work on TheView, she may find that the next time she speaks out on issues like racial justice, reparations, or white privilege, there will be those who remind her of the skeletons in her own closet. In the world of public discourse, where people are quick to judge others based on their past, Sunny's family history will likely continue to follow her, a moment of reflection. At the end of the day, this isn't just about Sunny Hostin. It's about the broader implications of how we engage with history, how we hold ourselves accountable, and how we navigate the complexities of identity and the past. As the conversation around race, privilege, and reparations continues to evolve, we must all grapple with the uncomfortable truths of our own histories. For Sunny, this moment could have been a turning point, a chance to demonstrate the kind of self-awareness and humility that is often missing from the public discourse. But instead, it has become a moment of irony, a reminder of the dangers of moral superiority without self-reflection. As Sunny moves forward, it will be interesting to see how she navigates the challenges posed by her family's past, and whether she will embrace this opportunity for personal growth or continue with business as usual.